Seth Greenberg from the Mothership, basketball analyst, joins us on the program. Seth, were you bothered by Tom Brady maybe hijacking Selection Sunday yesterday?
I just figured he wanted to take some pressure off Michigan being an 11 seed. So I understood he had, Tom Brady, everything he does has a purpose. He wanted to take care of Juwan Howard, to kind of take a little pressure off him. They made it into the tournament. So he decided to make the announcement then. Look, he could have waited a week, but those type of things, Dan, you can't hide those things. Someone would have broken it. He wanted to control the narrative. So Billis, on the other hand, was not happy.
Really?
Yeah, he was not happy. This is our next 3 weeks. This is our Super Bowl for the next 3 weeks. And,
well,
in the middle of it, we got Shefty on our Bracketology show. Again, another Michigan guy, and that's why I say it's a conspiracy.
Wow.
Brady makes his announcement, and another Michigan guy jumps in. All of a sudden, people don't realize that Michigan's at 11, and life is good.
Billis is always upset at something, so I understand that. But, yeah, Tom Brady ruining the big day for Jay Billis. Do your neighbors ask for advice when they fill out their brackets?
My neighbors, my daughters, my former players, people. And then when you're wrong, by the way, they kill you. They absolutely And I let you know what my favorite thing is, Dan, you go through this because with social media and everything. Like, I picked Alabama to lose to Rutgers, the winner of the play game. So because of that, that's why you don't have a coaching job, because you don't know that Alabama's going to win. I said, okay, that's all right. I understand that. Whatever you say. You're going to make half of the people happy, half of the people are going to be upset when you make a pick. And if I really knew the answer, I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be in Vegas and then walking over to my yacht.
All right, the top 4 seeds, any problem?
No, I think Tennessee, again, a lot of people disagree, but I think Tennessee, with the win in the SEC tournament, kind of played their way into a number one. I think some guys played their way out. I look at Baylor, and you know what? Baylor has had an incredible year, but without Jonathan Chama, without LJ Cryer, if you look at their team in this moment in time, not what they did when they won, I think, their first 15 games, their team in this moment in time isn't the number one seed. Not saying they're not a good team, because they're a very good team. Tennessee, how they played, the teams they beat, whether it's Kentucky twice, whether it's Arizona, whether it's Auburn, I think they might have earned their way to a 1. Obviously, I was wrong.
If you're of a certain age, you don't look at Gonzaga as that cute little program somewhere in Washington, that it was maybe 20, 25 years ago. Now you look at them as like they're one of the powerhouses in college basketball. When did it change, do you think, the national perception of Gonzaga from being that cute little school to you got to knock them off? They're great.
They're as blue blood as any team in the last 10 years. I think if someone gave me a stat, they've won more NCAA tournaments in the last 10 year games than anyone in the country. Think about that. And it's changed everything they've done, Dan, because, you see the guys they're recruiting.
Yeah.
They're recruiting dudes. They're beating North Carolina for players. They're beating Kentucky for players. Their roster is as good as any roster in the country. Now, I tell you the one thing they have done. They've still been able to keep their culture, their environment, their identity more of outside the main line. But in terms of their program, you can't deny it. And they do what they have to do in a non-conference. They play a great schedule, and then they basically they're off the radar for 2 months playing in the West Coast Conference, which was better this year, but they're still off the radar playing for 2 months. But Gonzaga is a blue blood. That's just the way it is. Just like Villanova is a blue blood.
Gonzaga is the only team to make the Sweet 16 in each of the last 6 tournaments. So
that's good.
It shouldn't come as a surprise that this team might be better than last year's team.
Yeah, in relation to the field, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. This team's better in relation to the field, because the field last year, like Baylor, it's funny. I talked to Mark Few in the middle of last season, and I said, "Look, your team's playing really well." Blah blah blah. He gave me this answer: "We're not Baylor." That was last year, because Baylor could dominate you in the backcourt. They had a physicality, a toughness. Mitchell and Butler. They were just so tough. There's no Baylor out there this year. So in relation to the field, they might be better. They have better rim protection. Chet Holmgren obviously gives them better rim protection. Timmy's a year older, doesn't have to do as much. Obviously, they don't have the guard, but Andrew Nembhard's playing well. But there are other teams like that team in Arizona might be Baylor. I don't know if they are defensively in the backcourt, but like Arizona is Baylor is Gonzaga 2.0 with Coloco's development as a rim protector and a front court guy that can move his feet. Mathurin and Dale and Terry are really good. I think Arizona right now is playing the best basketball anyone in the country.
6 of Arizona's top 7 scores this season are from Canada, Lithuania, Cameroon, Estonia, Mali, and Sweden. What do you make of being able to recruit those kind of players all over the world?
Well, I mean, Tommy Lloyd, he's the perfect guy to coach that group. You got to remember now, Sean Miller did a great job of bringing those guys in. He left those guys. Now, Tommy Lloyd had to re-recruit them because those guys could have all left and been eligible immediately. So when he came in, he was the right guy to hire because you think about it, he had so much experience with international recruiting. He had such a great network with international recruiting. So, he goes and he re-recruits them and they all come back. And then he puts them in a system that is conducive to their skill set. But look, that's the game. Our game is an international game. And they will become, just like Gonzaga became, a destination for the best international players. And, to me, that's a huge asset because now you're not banging heads with Kentucky and Kansas and Duke and North Carolina for those kids, because to those kids, you are Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, and Kansas, and because that's the perception they have overseas. And recruiting is like Hamilton. You got to have someone in the room where it happens. And Gonzaga, because of the success they've had with kids internationally, they have someone in the room where it happens, where the decisions are being made.
We're talking to Seth Greenberg, ESPN college basketball analyst. Best pro prospect in the tournament is?
I'm going to go outside the box. I mean, I've been vacillating on this for a while, but right now I'm leaning towards Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray at Iowa is a bucket. He gets off the bus, he drops 25. Look, in the new NBA, because of his size, he's 6'9". Could he lead Iowa to a Kemba-type run? Different kind of game. Knocks down threes at 43%. Can really defend. Very good passer. Could put it on the floor. Could play in the post. Could defend 1 through 4. I think that he would be my first pick. I think Jaden Ivey would be my second, part Ja Morant, part Russell Westbrook on a good day. And then Jabari Smith would be my third. I have Paul Banchero down the road. Like Paul Banchero came in with all this hype. And Duke has had a lot of hype during the course of the season. Duke doesn't have an identity defensively right now. They're not turning people over. Offensively, they got a lot of good players, but it's almost like a little kid has a lot of toys for Christmas, doesn't know which one to play with. But Banchero, he shows it to you, but he doesn't show it to you like the whole game. He doesn't show it to you at the end of the game. He doesn't you look at him and I'm saying, he's really good. Could he be Jabari Parker? Could he be Scott Williams? If I want to take a pick in the first 3, a guy in the first 3 picks, I want it to be a guy that just, that doesn't defer, that wants to take over a game.
Yeah. He does disappear. And and I always look at when it gets tighter, do you get larger? Do you that's what I always look for. It's some guys have alligator arms, they don't want the ball, and this coaching and you want that guy who says, "Give me the ball." I was watching Durant yesterday. Closing time against the Knicks, he was going to I want the ball. I want the shot. I want you to foul me. Those are the things that I gravitate towards, and I love seeing that mentality.
I totally agree. I mean, think about it. You think Kobe's going to defer? You think Magic's going to defer? You think Bird's going to defer? You think LeBron's going to defer? Not anymore. Yeah, he doesn't have anything to defer to right now. So, I mean, you look at the best players in the history of the game, especially in a college game, man, you want games on line. Give me the ball. Let's go. I'll make a play. And if they double me, I'll kick it out. Now, part of it is, and this is my belief, and I don't know about the end of a game, you got to have understanding of who you want to get the ball to, where you want to get them the ball, and how you're going to get them the ball. The best teams, that's what they do at the end of a game. I'm not sure Duke knows where they want to get them the ball and how they want to get them the ball. And if they're going to win the national championship, they better figure that out in the next week.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see him as a national champion. You see how they played against Syracuse?
Yes.
Without Buddy Boeheim?
Yeah. And you know what? Jim did a great job coaching against Duke.
Oh,
I mean, the fact that game was up in the air, and then you come back, and then you're thinking, all right, they're going to gonna breeze through the ACC. Like they're gonna win this thing, and then Virginia Tech. Your
That was
alma
a
mater.
clinic.
Yeah, they roughed him up.
Not my alma mater.
Well,
They're
no.
not paying me anymore. They're not paying me anymore. I mean, although I am a big Mike Young fan. I think he's a great guy and he's done a great job. And I actually traded text messages with him today. I'm really happy for him. That team lost like 7 out of 9. The hardest thing doing coaching, as you know, is to get a team back when they're struggling. To me, that's the essence of coaching. Keep your team to come to practice every day, to get better every day. And that's what that team did. I was really happy for him.
Give this audience a team to keep an eye on. Where you go, all right, if everything goes right, this team will do some damage.
Well, I like Iowa, and that's not a really reach. I think that Virginia Tech can win a couple of games in the tournament. I think that Texas Tech could be a team if they get to Gonzaga. Their ability to keep the ball on one side of the floor and be really physical. If they let them play, that's going to be a team that can do some damage for sure. I think all this. Here's my big takeaway: 6-11 games. I got all the 11s, all of them across the board.
Okay.
6-11, and then I have Miami beating USC in the 7-10.
Okay, all right. We'll keep an eye on it, and always great to talk to you.
Go.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And I'm not going to blame you when you're wrong, okay? Because usually what happens is you don't get credit when you're right. It's just you get blamed when you're wrong.
Oh, yeah. Just send me an Odyssey putter. We'll be fine.
Odyssey putter. Okay. Thank you, bud.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
That's Seth Greenberg, ESPN college basketball analyst there. All right.